Hey, what's good guys, and welcome to my Cyber Dragon Traps replays video. Um, Now I'll show a couple of replays, I would say interesting replays, interesting enough to show them because the whole point of replays video in my eyes is not to show like, oh, this deck is so good, look at it beating the meta decks, because in all reality you can build any like garbage deck and play 100 duel versus meta and just win like 4 of them and put them in a video. So it's more like, how can you play in this situation? And if I make a mistake, it's like I can tell you, oh, okay, I did this wrong, I should have done this, so you don't just do the mistake that I did. So yeah, that's the whole point of replays video in my eyes, just to make you learn about the deck more than impress you with like how good the deck is. Anyway, I'll show you some replays, then we will jump into the updated trap list in the end of the video. So yeah, our opponent is on Drytrons and we are going second because this is a blind second deck. He activates Penten, we ash it, but he is so good at Yu-Gi-Oh because he had Herald of the Orange Light and Eva also. So as I said, he's just so good at Yu-Gi-Oh. So hey, what can we do? Yeah, he's just doing Drytron's shenanigans, trying to get to, there we go, Herald of Perfection, basically his wing con. But again, like a lot of Drytron's deck play Herald of Ultimateness because it can negate summons, but in this case it doesn't really matter. We are not like going heavy on summoning anything. We just want to chew through negations. Like we're gonna make him discard as much cards as as humanly possibly can, so we can go for a clean grind game, and in that case we will just win. So he, as I said, just Drytron shenanigans. He's trying to search ruler. He searched ruler, and here I activate Ice Dragon's Present because if he goes like immediately normal summon ruler by attributing alpha and link Kuribo, this card would be dead, right? So I was like, let's activate it, let's eat a negation right now, and also let's put him in this weird situation, like if he either keeps ruler in hand to negate something, or summon ruler to and has nothing in hand. So like at the end of the day we are not dealing with ruler plus Herald of Perfection at once. So yeah, he goes revive Natasha, so he can make it live for upcoming turns. Then just revive Drytron's Master, search Dawn of Herald, I believe, yeah, Dawn of Herald, and go for a bunch of damage. But from this point on, I was like confident we are winning the game no matter what because he doesn't have a negation. We are searching Overflow. I see a lot of people cutting Overflow from the more aggressive build, and I understand that it's a trap card, it's slow. You want to see like more aggressive cards, but come on guys, like play at least one. Cutting Overflow to 0 is just wrong because like um, like why would you cut it to 0 when there's a lot of floodgates in the game? Like you have a searchable out to basically any kind of floodgate. And by the way, here I activated Overflow to destroy his master because he activated the effect of the spell cards, his Drytron spell card, and that he can't get it back to his hand unless he successfully reduced the monster's attack by 1000, and if he destroyed that monster he won't be able to reduce it, so he won't be able to add the ritual spell basically. So we're just cutting him off of resources, and from this point on we won because we just go normal summon Cyber Dragon. And here I decided to go for core, and just he surrendered after seeing the core because yeah, I was going to search Overflow, and basically I have also Solemn Strike. And what is top deck? Yeah, he's gonna top deck Emergency. That's whack because he can search a Drytron monster, then activate one of his Drytrons in the graveyard to tribute it. We go Solemn Strike because we know this is not a monster. And yeah, he just lose because he also went through all of his Bentens, so we just grinded him. And yeah, like any card we're gonna top deck next turn gonna either gonna be like a trap card, which again gives us like more protection for upcoming turns, or can be a cyber monster, which it's a GG at that point. Second matchup is against Guru Numeron Dragoon, and I believe they also had Mystic Mine in his deck. If I'm yep, there you go. Mystic Mine, Guru, Numeron, Dragoon. Basically, just he's playing no the deck. So yeah. Uh, so he opened okay, I guess. Like yeah, he opened Garnets, but that's the price you pay when you play like 15 engine in your deck. But he summons Exile. He have Strike. He have Final Battle, which can be good if he top deck a Guru. Uh, so yeah, there can be only one. That's very good versus good decks, but we just trash set 2 and pass. So uh, by the way, this I should have done last turn, setting hers because he will attack it. I will search Cyber Dragon. I can summon Cyber Dragon, and we can basically attack over the Zexal. Yeah, I should have set it a turn earlier, but that's fine. It's not the end of the world. We search Cyber Dragon as I said, and we just play the beatdown control game. We don't really care. Just attack, and yeah. Yeah, but I'm not overextending. I'm not saying torrential tribute because, as I said, I don't want to overextend, just so I don't eat a Harpy's Feather Duster or something like that. He sets Numeron Wall, and he have very fun cards in his back row. As you can see, he top deck with Ice Fusion. I ash it, he strike it, so we have to deal with a Dragoon. But thankfully, actually. Even though he had the Dark Magician in hand and he doesn't have a negation, but even if he had a negation, how we could have won next turn, it's like fairly easy. And I will show you as we progress, right? Now, we would have been able to bait out the negation with, what is it called? The Ice Dragon's Prison, right? And then, like, let's say he still have a Dragoon, right? Let's say he have a Dragoon right now with 4,000 attack. Well, without the Kaiju, so we don't really care, but even without the Kaiju, okay, I can still add it without the Kaiju. We just go Overflow, pop everything, summon, well, he surrendered here, but we could have summoned, what is it called, Rampage, and we just send Nashtor to the graveyard. We get back Nashtor to our hand with hers, we can send hers and Nashtor, get back Nashtor, and just, summon Nashtor, revive Cyber Dragon, go into Ziger, and Ziger can pump Rampage to 4200, attack over the Dragoon, attack for game, and yeah, that's it. And our third replay here, we are playing against Drytrons again. Now, the reason I want to show this replay, well, first it's quick, so don't worry, it's only 4 turns deep, but I want to show it because there's an interesting tip I want to give to you, especially if you're playing against this build, the Megalith build, which is, I would say it's not as good as the Herald of the Ultimateness build, but first they can play them together, and second, the Megalith build still can catch you off guard because it's really strong versus back row decks, so I will just, it's just a neat thing you can do, right? Like, this has a quick effect to ritual summon one Megalith ritual monster from the hand or deck by attributing monster from the hand or field whose total level equals or exceed that monster's level. Now you have to remember that this effect can only activate during the main phase only, right? And the monster that they will summon always is this behemoth looking motherfucker that can pop multiple cards on your side of the field up to the number of rituals in your graveyard, in your opponent's graveyard in this case. So what you do is don't set everything, right? I kept the torrential tribute in my hand for a reason. Set enough cards to, lure them to activate the effect and summon him to pop a couple of cards, and then attempt to leave the main phase, right? They will see that you set a couple of cards, they will activate it to pop them, but then because you technically still in the main phase, you can set a card again and pass, so you don't lose all your resources. Now of course that doesn't matter because he opened Red Reboot, but like it's fine, as I said, the whole thing about these replays is to give you tips and things to learn more than to show you that, oh, this deck is great, but spoiler, we still win, by the way, and you will see how. So he negated, we said the torrential tribute, he popped the other one, it's all good, and I guess he did not summon the ruler because you know, he saw us on a trap heavy strategy, so you know, Zeus would be better, and so yeah. And also that's the benefit of playing this deck, right? Because like people, especially on game one, like when you go set 3 and pass, people will think like, okay, this is Eldlich or this is like Dogmatica or whatever, but it's like, no, it's Cyber Dragon. But even if he summoned Vanity's Ruler, it's fine, because remember, we are playing Overflow, so you know. But anyway, we are gonna win here because Zeus is a machine, and that's just like, if Cyber Dragon wasn't good enough, they can out Zeus with the greatest of ease, so yeah. And our opponent surrender because we are just summoning big Trunkin machines and we can attack for game. Versus Eldlich invoked Dogmatica, so yeah, like a lot of fun engines here. He's going first as usual, and I did not ash Alistair here because let's face it, who cares about Macabre, right? We are Cyber Dragon, we don't really care about any machine here. Now the reason why I ashed Cursed Eldland because I didn't want him to get Eldlich the Golden Lord so he don't fuse with it and just do this basically, right? Because it's a lot of free advantage, but he is good at Yu-Gi-Oh, so he opened it in his hand. What can I do? It's fine though. It's all good. We search Cyber Dragon Fear here because Fear is amazing. It can chain block, so we are 100% resolving our core. We go Contact Fuse, and like I'm kicking myself now after seeing the Forbidden Droplet that I did not Contact Fuse with Almirage. But my thought was like, why would I Contact Fuse with it and waste a Mega Fleet basically on nothing? Because like Almirage, it's doing nothing basically on board, right? And and I'm not going to destroy anything by card effects, so the effect of Almirage is irrelevant. So it's just like a waste of resources. But yeah, I should have played it better. I should have Contact Fuse so to make the Droplet, like an actual minus to him, right? So yeah, it's all good though. We go into Rampage to force the activations. You go Droplet, Tribute to the Almirage. It's all good. We go Cyberlord Fusion because I really want him to summon the second Eldlich because I have Ice Dragon's Prison, and like this card is an auto win versus Eldlich if you use it right, and you will see that in a bit. So we just clear the board here and go for a decent chunk of damage. We set this and we have like a lot of follow-up plays now. I could have gone into Infinity using these two, but I did not see it like the most optimal play because Rampage is a huge follow-up play. Remember, you can always search any Cyber Dragon monster using it, so you can like Foolish Hers and a core. Like get back the core, normal summon the core, get Overflow for example, and you have a stacked graveyard. And also, it's like an amazing way to clean out the board, right? So yeah, like overall, it's like I feel it's a better decision than making Infinity, especially that I have Ice Dragon's Prison, and this card is like just an insurance versus Eldlich, right? So he goes for this thing and pops my card, so it's all good. He activates Cursed Eldland, yada yada yada, and then he summoned Golden Lord. He goes to attack with Chain Ice Dragon's Prison, and he just surrendered. So yeah, like that was a pretty easy matchup because I just wanted to show how crazy Ice Dragon's Prison is versus Eldlich. And here we are at the deck list now. I know I did not put a lot of free plays, like I maybe put 4 or 5, but again, the whole point was to like make you learn some stuff, make you understand the playstyle of the deck more than like flexing on how good the deck is. And by the way, I believe this is the best way to play Cyber Dragon right now in this format, like hands down. But anyway, I'm not gonna explain every card here because I explained everything in the video I put out like 2-3 weeks ago. But like if you see anything here you don't understand, please ask me in the comment. I'll answer any question. The only thing I will talk about now is Barbaroid. Actually, the only reason it's here because I wanted a big target for Dogmatica Punishment, like something over 3,500, because like you will meet those big monsters every now and then, especially something like Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, for example, is a thing. So, and instead of putting something like Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which will never come up outside of Dogmatica Punishment, I decided to add Barbaroid because you can summon it off of Nova. If Nova ever get destroyed or sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card effect, and I actually won a game once because of this card. I was playing against Eldlich. I summoned Nova, used the effect, he ogred it, and I just summoned Barbaroid. He had two Eldlich on board in defense, 2800 defense and 3800 defense. One of them was pumped, so this card can inflict 1000 damage to your opponent if it destroys a monster, and he was already on like 1700, so attack because it can attack twice, inflict 2000 damage and just once. So yes, it won't come up that much, but I would rather put something that may come up every now and then than something that will never come up. Now speaking about the meta matchups and rogue matchups, well, I would say this deck is like plays against VW, Drytrons, Dinos, like a hot knife through butter. Like those matches are very smooth. Like you have a lot of cards that hit them, right? Ash, Smeister are amazing. Ice Dragon's Prison is amazing, and Torrential Tribute is not that great versus Dinos, but VW and also Drytrons, like this card is a blowout against them, right? So versus Eldlich is not a tough matchup, but you really need to manage your resources well. And post side deck, the versus Eldlich matchup becomes extremely easy because you have like Bell, Cosmics, evenly matched. All of them can counter Eldlich with the greatest of ease, right? You can remove something like I don't know, the kaijus are not that great because you can out Zeus easily if they are on Zoo Eldlich, and same thing for Magaba if they are on Invoked, and if they are playing pure then the kaiju doesn't really like come up at all. So yeah, now talking about like the lower tier decks, like let's say Brankids and Unchained, because these like very popular right now. The matchups are fairly easy, to be honest, because you don't really care about Butler, like the Branked Fusion Monster, because you are not going ham on summoning monsters anytime soon. And there's a lot of good cards versus Brankets, like Torrential is amazing, Ash and Meister going sick, like they can be auto win if your opponent doesn't have a follow-up, right? They can normal summon a Branked monster, link it off for Meow Meow, activate the effect in the of the Branked in the graveyard to summon another one from the deck. You Ash it or you Skullmeister it. If they don't have a follow-up play, like they are passing, they are like maybe setting one card face down and passing, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, also Torrential is amazing versus them. Ice Dragon's Prison, like all of these cards are amazingly generic and amazingly powerful this format. So yeah, Unchained is again easy matchup, especially versus this version specifically because they can like what was Soul Unchained Soul of Rage, I believe, the Link 2 monster that they can on a quick effect link summon with your special summoned monster during your turn, but you don't really care because you can go like any, like first of all you're not special summoning anything, and you can also contact fuse with it, so it's like easy matchup. However, Torrential is not really good against them. I would say that, but again, you know, post side deck you can put Cosmic Cyclones in here, and it's just GG. So yeah, overall I'm loving this deck. Like it's extremely fun, extremely powerful versus the meta, and no one expected. Like even when they know you are on Cyber Dragon, they don't expect to be facing all this heavy traps strategy, right? So yeah. Anyway, tell me what you think about the deck. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I will answer anyone. And you know, consider supporting, like, subscribe, all this good shtick. And peace.